rap legend, Ben Shapiro. Welcome to the program, Ben. How are you?
Yo, 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 sup, Holmes?
Hey, I would respond, but I'm a little uncomfortable. How you doing, man?
It's been a journey. It's been a journey. There have been so many iterations of my art over time.
Yeah.
From playing classical violin now to this, and there's just so many genres I've yet to explore. And I can't wait to explore all of them.
What are you going to do next?
Heavy metal.
Really? See, while you're dabbling in this kind of stuff, I'm learning new languages. I'm learning currently, which is like rap legend Ben Shapiro. I just said that, and the people who speak that language know it. But anyway, some of us are serious.
It's an amazing. Listen, it's just a testament to the magic of my magnetic personality, my insane levels of riz, as they say, as the kids say. Charisma. Everyone can't get off the rap train now. It's left the station, and we will not be denied that number one status on Billboard number one. Even Billboard is now admitting, by the way, that we're probably going to make the digital song downloads number one this week, just in time for the Grammys. So I can only hope that next year we get serious consideration for a Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, that is so funny. Grammys. Will you be showing your nipples on that if you do get into the halftime show?
I'm going to go no on that.
Okay.
No. I think that
thanks you.
Something has to be left to the imagination. You leave them wanting more. That's really the message.
Yeah. So I'm wearing my hoodie today because you were wearing your hoodie in the video, and you look good. Whenever I see you in you look. I put the hoodie on, and I either look like Kenny, or I look like the Emperor from Star Wars. I cannot make it. I don't. It's strange, but I can't make it cool, Ben. It's very strange.
I didn't know that I could do it either. So the way that happened is that we were just filming that portion of the rap, and I looked around and I was dressed as I normally do, as a dork, and I said, "Do we have a hoodie in the office?" And like, actually, we do. Somewhere in the back here, we have like a fax hoodie that we once marketed, and I was like, "Bring it out." And
that's why you said that. So
now
cool.
the most sought after piece of drip that is possible on planet Earth right now. We have sold more of those hoodies, and it's basically funding my entire mortgage at this point.
That's so funny. Hang on just a sec. Let's play a little bit of the rap.
Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo. My pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a whack. Dog, it's a yarmulke. Homie, no cap. Look at the graphs. Look at my charts. You're blowing money on strippers and cars. You going to prison. I'm on television. Dog, no one knows who you are.
So funny. So funny.
The joy that my art brings to others is really the reason I'm in the game.
So, Ben, let's change the subject here for a second. What is the biggest threat to our country right now?
I think the biggest threat to our country is that there is a widespread conspiracy theory that's held on virtually every side of the aisle, which is that success in a free market, free system is somehow emblematic of exploitation. You see it mostly on the left is basically what DEI is this theory that the powerful in society control everyone else, and that you can tell who the powerful are by their success, and then you can group them by race. And so DEI basically says that if you're a white male, you're on the top of the power hierarchy, you're unfairly exploiting others, and therefore you need to be brought low. That tends to cross streams with anti-Semitism, obviously, because once you start talking about groups that are disproportionately successful in the United States, you get into Asians, you get into Jews, it gets into really ugly territory. But I also see some elements of this on sort of the far right, this idea that everything is a conspiracy, everything is a group of elites who are seeking to keep you under the boot, and success is therefore belonging to this elite cadre of people. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't institutions that aren't run by people who really do have your worst interests at heart. I mean, the media are run by people who do not agree with your vision of America, the universities. But we're talking just broadly speaking, the implication that success is unachievable in a free market society or in a free speech society, that is enervating to the American public. It leads us to see each other as enemies. It's really ugly. It's destroying us domestically. I think it's destroying us in terms of foreign policy as well. So it's that sort of, it's that ideology, I think.
So I tell you, I don't know exactly what you're pulling from. There's a couple of things like this horrible ruling I think, about Elon Musk and the attacks on Elon Musk. They're trying to destroy him, but that's because he doesn't agree with policy. I have no problem with people making money and being successful. My problem is with the elites that are. It's not a conspiracy. We know who they are. The World Economic Forum and all of the leaders around the world that are saying things like, we got to ban meat. We have to take control of private property, and we have to do public-private partnerships. I mean, those people, that's not a conspiracy, is it?
No, I agree with that. And so that's why I was distinguishing between institutions that are absolutely doing that, and they're saying it openly.
Yes.
I distinguish between sort of the conspiracy theories and the actual just people who are saying the thing.
Right.
Like the WEF is not hiding the ball. They're saying exactly what they want to do, and they're doing it out loud, and they say that they control certain businesses, they control governments. And again, they're doing it right out in the open. That's why it's always weird to me when people say that the right is so focused on this WEF conspiracy. It's like, that's not a conspiracy when you just say the thing. But that's a little bit different than a sort of, I think, internalized sense that we're getting from a lot of Americans on all sides of the political aisle that success is not possible in the United States, which I don't think is reality. I think success is possible. I think there can be institutional obstacles to that success that are largely discriminatory. But yeah, again, this is an amazing country. And I think that it's worthwhile for us to remember just how amazing this country was. And what makes it amazing is the fact that we have a shared set, or we used to at least have a shared set of Judeo-Christian values and free market principles that have created the largest commercial republic in the history of mankind, most powerful military in the history of mankind, and the most powerful spreader of morality and decency in the history of mankind. And like we are all part of that project. There are obstacles to that project, but those are not insuperable. And I think telling people that they will lose, that whatever is the next thing that happens politically will cause them to be cast into the outer darkness forever. I'm not a big fan of catastrophism in this country. I don't think that when we say that the next election is the last election, I don't believe that. I think it's really, really important. But I think it's also more important to build up from the local level. And I prefer that we all start to focus on that as opposed to sort of the catastrophic thinking that if the next election doesn't go the way we want, then civil war is going to break out or something.
Now, I mean, as America's leading catastrophist, I do feel like that was a little pointed.
I don't mean it to be. I mean, it really is not about. It really is not about the idea that there aren't serious threats lurking around the corner. But yeah. I think that it's easy, and not just lurking, like here. I mean, listen, we're living in a country where a significant percentage of the population doesn't know the difference between male and female. I mean, that's a serious crisis that is present right in front of us. We're in a country where, again, a significant percentage of the population believes that free market capitalism is actually evil and wrong. It needs to be curbed. That's a serious crisis right in front of us. I guess the point that I'm making is that in our personal lives, in our daily interactions, the things that we should be focused on are what can bring us success. Yes. And I think that we can fight the crises that are political at the same time that we build success from the local level. And what I prefer conservatives to do is do both at the same time. We can walk and we can chew gum. And I think there's been a lot of focus that's been poured into the crises that face us. And yeah, those are crises that we have to fight because otherwise we won't be able to do the things on a personal level we want to do. But, what I'm seeing right now is people feeling enervated about things like getting married. People feeling enervated about things like getting a job or if I work hard, will I succeed? And we have to keep saying to people over and over that if you work hard, you will succeed. And we are going to make sure that nobody stops you from succeeding if you work hard and make the right decisions.
Okay, I understand. I understand what you're saying there. I'm surprised that you picked that. I'm glad you did because I hadn't thought of it the way you're thinking. But I would say most people right now would say biggest thing that is the biggest problem we have to address quickly is the border.
Yes. I mean, on a political level, absolutely the border. On a political level, 100% the border. When we're talking about the crises that face us right now, I think this is the crisis that's going to define not just this year, but maybe this generation. Yes. Not just on America's southern border, but all over the world, is this mass migration of peoples from areas that are not particularly friendly to Western values into places in the West. It's obviously breaking politics in Europe. But in the United States, this idea that we can have an open border that is being openly pursued by Joe Biden. I mean, there's just no question that Joe Biden has crafted the policy that is specifically designed to keep our borders open. I was just down on the border and I was talking with Brandon Judd, who's head of the Border Patrol Union, and he was showing me the border. I mean, we went 25 miles without seeing a single Border Patrol agent. And that was in an area that did not have border gate. I mean, that did not have border wall. That was on a Native American reservation in Arizona. And I mean, that place is so unoccupied by Border Patrol that when we sat there at night and we looked out the window of the car, there's a drone flying over us, monitoring us. I assumed that it was an American drone. It was not. It was a Mexican drug cartel drone that was monitoring our car and it was on American territory. And I asked the Border Patrol agent, why don't you shoot it down? He said we would have to get direct permission from Alejandro Mayorkas directly to shoot that down so as not to create an international incident on the border. So the drug cartels are in control of the border. They're playing this game that is fully taking advantage of what Joe Biden is doing. So to understand what Biden has done, the basic answer is Joe Biden has now declared that if you say the magic words with regard to asylum, you will be allowed into the country. Not only that, Border Patrol's first duty is to take you at the border and to process you and release you into the interior of the United States. So what the drug cartels are doing is they will literally drive up in a truck yards from the border, unload a bunch of illegal immigrants. These illegal immigrants will literally walk across the border where we were. There was a sign with a button on it. And if you push the button, it says, push for Border Patrol help, like they're bellboys. And you push the button. The Border Patrol all rushes over to do what Joe Biden wants them to do, which is busing an administrative duty. That leaves the border wide open for the actual scary people. Because there are two groups of people, right? There are the people who shouldn't be in here because they don't actually have legal asylum claims. They may be on the welfare system, but they're not necessarily, people who are seeking to do violent crime or smuggle drugs or something. And the drug cartels make money from coyoteing them up, obviously. But the drug cartels are making the real money from smuggling fentanyl over the border, from smuggling people with criminal records over the border, terrorists over the border. And Joe Biden is leaving those swaths of the border completely unoccupied so that he can process more people who are claiming asylum. I mean, it's not a shock that the criminals who just beat up the cops in New York the other day, they were claiming asylum. I mean, that's literally what they said. They said, we are here, we are claiming asylum. They don't have a legit asylum claim, and that is purely on Joe Biden, because under Donald Trump, we had a remain in Mexico policy, which was if you arrived at the border and said, I claim asylum, we'd say, great, now you wait in Mexico, and then we'll adjudicate your case. And then their case would be adjudicated. They wouldn't have an asylum claim, and they would have to go back home. Well, that's a pretty good incentive not to show up at our southern border. Joe Biden has done precisely the reverse.
Ben obviously is with the Daily Wire, and he's got a new documentary out about his trip to the border and shows you all of these things. And you can watch it on the Daily Wire if you are like me and you are a member of the Daily Wire. Ben, as always, great to talk to you.
I appreciate talking to you, and keep the spark alive for the hip-hop in your heart.
Well, I will. Will do. Thank you so much, Ben Shapiro. Let me tell you about...
quickly, if you want to keep the hip-hop spark alive in your heart and want to have the hoodie that you're wearing, where would you go to get that? Would it be GlennBeckMerch.com?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Thank you for saying yes. GlennBeckMerch.com.
Okay.
It's
I want to make sure.
It is my hip-hop label, Sick Twisted Freak. But
it's a great hoodie, actually.
It's a great hoodie.
It's a great hoodie.
It's actually we're just introducing them. They're the Sick Twisted Freak. For anybody who is, a listener, a longtime listener of this program, especially, you recognize Sick Twisted Freak. A lot of new listeners are coming in and they're like,
why is he calling me that?
Why is he calling me that? It's a term of endearment. It is. Who's listening to this every day except somebody who's just like, I, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you can get the sweatshirt now. It's available at GlennBeckMerch.com. I'm a little upset, not at Ben, I love Ben, but I'm a little upset at Tom MacDonald, who's been on this program before, and he's the weight behind the Ben Shapiro. And speaking of weight, who's better on weight than me, really, honestly?
You mean higher?
Yeah.
Higher.
And I'm thinking to myself, Ben, you really missed the boat here, Tom, by going with Ben, and Ben's great and everything, but you missed the legend, okay, that I am. I mean, I have been doing rap for, forever, honestly, since the Sugar Hill Gang. Yeah. I go all the way.
Did you precede the Sugar Hill Gang?
No, I was right there with the Sugar Hill Gang. I my own interpretation of rap, which Tom MacDonald and Ben Shapiro. Facts. Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo. My pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic. Don't be a wap. Dog. It's a yarmulke, homie. No cap. Look at the graphs. Look at my charts. You're blowing money on strippers and cars, which really doesn't work. You're going to go to prison, and I'm on television. Dog, no one knows who you are. Keep hating on me on the internet, my comment section, all woke Karens. I make racks off compound interest. You all live with your parents. Nikki, take some notes. I just did this for fun. All my people download this. Let's get a billboard #1. I mean, Tom, you could have had it. You could have had it all. You could have had all that
What
talent.
a missed opportunity
Missed
there.
opportunity. Yeah. I mean, sure, you're #1 worldwide, but still, what could you have been?